Hello, Nikki Cottom here, and I wanted to jump on now. We're going to be doing a Facebook Live essential oils class right now. So if you're in a place where you're comfortable getting on and watching this, that's great. This will also be recorded, so don't worry about it. If you want to share this with your friends, you're welcome to. Feel free also to type in any questions you might have in the comment box, just so that I can answer any questions you have. That's the only way I'm going to see those. But here we go. So I'm just going to get right into essential oils. How I was introduced to essential oils, I was introduced back in 2012 by a good friend of mine. Her daughter was having some colic and fussiness the same time my daughter, who happened to have been born the same day as her daughter, that's the one thing that brought us close, my daughter was having digestive issues too. And my friend Tammy, she invited me to come to an essential oils class to learn a little bit about how essential oils can help with natural things. And me, I've always been drawn to the more natural approach. Whenever somebody told me it was all natural, I would perk up and really pay attention. I really like things that come straight from the ground. I feel like they're safe, that they can be more effective. And so when she introduced me to essential oils, I said, I'm coming to your class. You teach me what you know. And she did. She taught me what she knew. And from then on, I went ahead and, researched even more with a sociology degree. That's basically a degree in research right there. So cool. That's how I got into essential oils. I bought myself a book that was pretty similar to this one. It was a Modern Essentials book. And I just started learning about essential oils as much as I could. I started watching videos. I started really just trying the best I could to learn more. So here I am. I ended up getting a starter kit in February 2013, and the rest has been a journey that I would not trade for the world. The most wonderful miracles have happened in my life since I started using essential oils as a first line of defense, of support for my family's health concerns. So it's been a wonderful journey. Enrolling with a kit of oils in doTERRA with a membership was one of the most beneficial investments I have ever made in my future, in my family's health, and in our overall lifestyle. Our lifestyle is so much better than I ever thought that it would be. In fact, before I started using essential oils, there were days I felt really old and exhausted and worn down. And what was scary was I was only 22, 23, and that's not a good... Hi, Dory, welcome for joining us. Thanks for joining us here. So anyways, when I joined doTERRA, I was like, well, I don't know if I can reverse the aging that I've gone through, but at least I can prevent myself from, getting worse off. And lo and behold, I realized that when you give the body what it needs, it heals itself. So all that inflammation, all those wrinkles, all those acne scars that I had as a teenager, all those things, they work themselves out. I don't have those issues anymore. And I can contribute that to choosing a more natural lifestyle when I'm able to. And a majority of that has been from using essential oils. So I'm very grateful for essential oils and the wonderful blessings they have been in my mind, in my life, and with my children's wellness. And I will follow up with the story of my daughter. She was having digestive issues. She couldn't digest dairy very well. And we tried lemongrass essential oil on her feet, and she has never thrown up or complained anymore since we started doing that about drinking milk. She's fine now, and she's outgrown that, even so that we don't even have to use the lemongrass anymore. So we've had a lot of really good experiences there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into some of the most common essential oils and how I use them. And then I'm going to jump in and talk a little bit about some of the deals that are going on right now. So let me introduce you to my favorite essential oil. It's frankincense. Okay, frankincense is the king essential oil. Frankincense magnifies the benefits of other essential oils. Frankincense works on a cellular level, and we know that our entire structure is made up of cells, which make up the tissues, which make up the organs and the glands, which make up the systems, which make up the entire body. So the cellular level, what frankincense does is it addresses the cells over time as we use it on a daily basis, addresses the cells so that the cells can repair. It also speeds up apoptosis, which is cell death of those cells that are unhealthy. So if you have issues, any sort of health condition where you think the cells or the DNA may be damaged, frankincense is amazing for that. I see Diane Howard, she wrote, are there oils that support a healthy blood pressure? And I am so glad that you mentioned that. Blood pressure, we're talking the heart, we're talking circulation, we're talking being calm, relaxed, that type of thing. There are wonderful oils that can help support the heart and the circulatory system. And I'm happy to talk about a little bit about that. There have been essential oils that I've looked up in books like this, and then I've also done personal research on. And let me just say, I can't claim to cure or treat, cure, diagnose, or any of that. But I will say that the friends of mine who have tried the following essential oils have had a lot of success. And I'll explain a little bit of those details. So first of all, frankincense. I just mentioned that frankincense, though, repairs damage that has been done. And a lot of times when there's high blood pressure or, blood pressure issues, there's an underlying reason, an underlying need that maybe isn't being met, which causes kind of everything else to spiral out of control. So frankincense is a good place to start. The next one, a really good one for the heart and just calming the blood pressure down, is an oil called ylang ylang. It smells really good. I didn't bring it down here with me, but ylang ylang, let me find a picture of it in this book. It's a beautiful essential oil, and you can put it a drop right over your heart, and it's a sedative oil. It forces your heart rate to calm down. It forces your breathing to slow down if you're, too anxious or whatever. And it also helps just everything just kind of mellow out. So it's great for those suffering with, high blood pressure, also for ADD, that type of thing. Anything that involves something overactive in the body, it helps with. So here we go. Here's a picture of ylang ylang. I believe it's a Filipino flower. I'm not sure if you can see, just some uses there. This is the Modern Essentials book. You see the high blood pressures on there. So ylang ylang helps balance the heart function right there. So there's one oil for that. And also another one I wanted to mention is cinnamon. Cinnamon has been shown to be great for, high blood pressure as well as, diabetes and that type of thing. It kind of goes hand in hand there. So great question. Awesome. The other essential oil related to blood pressure that I wanted to mention is one that just came out recently from doTERRA. It's called petitgrain essential oil. And that comes from the leaf of a bitter orange plant, and it also works with the blood pressure and getting the heart healthy. So cool. All right, next question. Rita Rink Usury, what oils are good for positive energy? I like this question. I use essential oils for good energy as well. I'm wondering if you're meaning good, positive energy, like I want to feel better, I want my mood to be better, or in terms of I want to feel more uplifting energy to the divine? I'm gonna kind of answer that both. We haven't really gotten very far off frankincense. We're back to frankincense again. Frankincense is the oil of light and truth, or the oil of truth and something else. Maybe it's just the oil of truth emotionally. So what it does is it addresses patterns of truth. It helps us live from our truth. It also is what I call my grace of God oil. When I feel like I'm just overwhelmed, I can't do it, I can't take another step, there are things that I want to be doing, but I can't seem to get, them accomplished, or I feel like I would rather lay on the couch and not do anything. I open my frankincense, and you don't have to do this under your tongue, but I do. So a few drops under the tongue like that. And I will tell you, I notice instantly my energy lifts. I mean, I have more energy. My energy is lighter. I just feel like, maybe God, is sending me down this divine grace. And so I feel that coming through. It also helps if I'm coming down with something like a cold or a flu. Frankincense is wonderful to support the immune system. So whatever the reason for not having the energy that you want to have, frankincense can definitely help there. It also revitalizes the cells. I don't know if you were listening earlier, Rita, and you heard that, but frankincense, literally, if you were to take frankincense internally every day, frankincense would go throughout all the cells in your body and address every single cell. The healthy cells, frankincense would just, support a little bit more, and the unhealthy cells, frankincense will speed up apoptosis or cell death. So those unhealthy cells, the cells that are not doing good for the body, the cells that are causing damage to the body and all sorts of oxidation and rusting and disease, they send those cells away, send them off to cell death, so a brand new, beautiful, wholesome cell can replace it. So it's a wonderful thing. It's like the #1 oil in anti-aging, because that's what it does. It flips the unhealthy cells out to make room for the healthy cells. So there it goes again, good energy. It just creates that really positive energy, so all the cells in the body can be well. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Love the grace of God. Me too. Yes, pushing out the bad cells. That's what it does. That's why it's so powerful. In fact, I'm not going to say that frankincense cures cancer or anything on here, but I will say that frankincense is so supportive of those cells. I mean, I know so many friends who, if you have a health issue and you really just want to get those unhealthy cells out to make room for the healthy cells, frankincense taking internally every day will do you so much good. In fact, I was on an airplane going somewhere, and I ran into another lady who sold doTERRA essential oils. And I asked her what her story was, and she said that her husband used to work for an Air Force. Yeah, he was in the Air Force. He used to jump out of airplanes as part of his training. And he jumped too many times. He took too many falls. Before she started doTERRA, he was on 27 different medications, anywhere from antidepressants to chronic pain to PTSD, all this stuff. And she said that he was able to get off, I don't remember exactly how many, but it was around most of them, like 20 medications, just by doing 4 drops of frankincense under his tongue in the morning and 4 in the evening. Powerful, powerful essential oil. In fact, I have everybody I've known to use essential frankincense for inflammation, for mood, for energy, has been really benefited. As far as energy goes, one more thing, because we're on the topic, and I did bring this essential oil with me. It's called Slim and Sassy. It's the metabolic blend. It has grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon. And this is the metabolic blend. I don't know if you know much about the brain-stomach connection, but people actually call the stomach the second brain, because whatever's going on in the brain affects the stomach and vice versa. There's a direct communication going back and forth. So when we don't have the mental energy, the mental stamina, chances are there's something with our gut not happy, something depleted, something exhausted, something going on with our gut. If you think about it, when you eat a really big meal that isn't quite healthy, you might realize afterward that you're tired. Really, when you think about food should be giving you energy, right? But there are times we get done eating, and whatever reason, maybe our body just couldn't handle what we ate. Maybe we ate a lot of gluten, a lot of dairy, a lot of sugar. Those are things that take more time for our bodies to process. When we eat a lot of that, our body just kind of goes into overload, and our stomach gut has a longer time digesting those things. So we might think, feel like we'd rather take a nap than, do what we need to do the rest of the day. So this is where Slim and Sassy comes into play. Slim and Sassy helps speed up the metabolism. So gets those digestive juices going. It also has the cinnamon. That helps me so much if I've eaten too much sugar and my blood sugar. Not that I've been diagnosed with anything, but you can just tell it's a little bit off. You're like, whoa, I've eaten too much sugar. Cinnamon is amazing at helping get the body back into balance. And the peppermint helps with, the peppermint and ginger helps with the digestive process. The lemon and the grapefruit gives that extra boost of energy. So this is another energy oil. I put, a drop to 2 drops in my water. Yes, I'm old fashioned. I use a mason jar. So in my water, when I started, I dipped a toothpick in it and mixed it around in my water. Now I can do several drops in my water. I love that. It's strong, but those are all familiar flavors. So once you get accustomed to how strong they are, good news is there are no calories in them. There's no nutritional value whatsoever, but it can support the gut. So good energy, good flow of energy, getting the digestive system going and all of that. So your digestive system can be working optimally and your mind can too. In fact, there have been times I haven't felt like working out. I'm in this vicious cycle. I don't want to work out, and then I don't want to work out, so I don't feel like doing anything because I haven't really gotten on the ball. Even doing this in my water has helped me gain the motivation I've needed to get up and running because my stomach doesn't feel like, I don't want to move. Like, I just don't feel like it. Like, my stomach is up and going, so it's easier for the rest of me to get up and going. I've also used this Slim and Sassy to help curb cravings if I'm craving something unhealthy, or to keep off unwanted weight, or to get back down to the weight I've wanted to be. So it's a really great support for any energy or metabolism weight loss goals that you may have this year. Also, let's jump into another mood one. Okay, this is a common essential oil. It's called Wild Orange. Wild orange is great for feelings of anxiousness, feelings of despair. We all kind of go through those times where we kind of get ups and downs, and sometimes the downs last quite a while. And essential oils can really help pull us out of that. In fact, I don't know if you're familiar with Nikola Tesla and his theories on frequency and wavelength and that type of thing, but he has been found to say that the study of frequency and vibration actually is where the future of science is going. And essential oils have very high volatile frequencies, and what this does is it gives our energy the boost that it needs to get the unwanted things kind of out of our systems and move us up to mentally a higher plane of thinking. So kind of bumps us up, buoys us up out of, a sluggishness, a stagnant energy. So this is Wild Orange. It only costs like $12 wholesale with a membership. A membership is $35. It only costs like $12.50 for an entire bottle. That's between 250 to 300 drops. And you just need like 1 or 2 drops at a time. Rub it in your hands. Inhale, breathe it in through your hands. It does wonders. I knew a gal who joined doTERRA about the same time I did, and she had been on antidepressants basically her whole life and had a lot of issues. And she decided to give Wild Orange a shot. She's like, what have I got to lose? So she started carrying around Wild Orange in her purse, putting it on any time she could remember, and it was able to pull her out of this funk. She was able to, with her doctor, get off her antidepressant. They were all fine with it. I never tell anyone to do that, but if you're in a good place and your doctor feels like you can, great. At the same time, you don't always have to get off your medications to start using an essential oil. I had a friend who, she asked about ADD because her husband had such bad ADD that he could only take school classes like, not very many credits at all. And so she asked, and I told her that there was an essential oil called InTune that could help support focus. And it's one it's in a roller already. You just roll it across your forehead and behind, and just do that. The oil stay in the system 4 to 6 hours. And she said, well, maybe I'll wait until he's off, not in school, so we can try it and see, because I wouldn't want him to get off his medication. And I said, yeah, that's a good idea. And then eventually what she decided to do is have him do the InTune and take his medications and see what happened, because essential oils usually do not interfere with medications, and they also take 2 different routes to solve the same problem. Essential oils usually go to the root cause, and medications usually force the body to do certain functions. So essential oils, go to the root problem, while, medications are doing kind of just putting a Band-Aid on the issue. And so he did both at the same time, and he was amazed how well the InTune helped. And he said, I don't even think the medication is making a dent compared to what the InTune is doing. So I would never tell anyone to get off medication, but he was actually able to get off his ADD medication, which was such a relief to his wife, because when he was on his medications, he just would go through withdrawals in the evening because he wanted to be with his kids. He didn't want to be in that rigid state of mind, so he wouldn't take it in the evening. And then, there was just so much. So it was a blessing when he was able to get off of those. And since then, I've seen time and time again, people have used their medications and done oils. And a lot of times people can get off their oils. So Dory, I see you said, can you use several oils at the same time? Will one interfere with the other? Good question. The beautiful thing about essential oils, you can use a bunch at the same time, and they will all do what they're meant to do. Okay? There are only a few cases where you don't want to do a ton on your body, and that's if your body is, overloaded already with something. You don't want to add to that. But let me just show you. So for example, I put some frankincense under my tongue. I've been drinking Slim and Sassy. I put Wild Orange on my hands, and you can layer essential oils. So what happened was there's no trace of Wild Orange on my hands anymore, except for the smell, okay? Like no grease, no nothing. Essential oils are not greasy, so they're not going to leave a grease. They're volatile. They evaporate and get into your bloodstream within 30 seconds. So they're fast working. So when you layer essential oils, so for example, there's this essential oil called Balance. It helps balance kind of the systems of the body, get, the body functioning smoothly. It's also I've heard it referred to as chiropractor in a bottle, because it really helps just loosen up the muscles and help with alignment, grounding and alignment. And I'm just going to put this on my neck. So there I go. I put some on my neck. It's also on my hands. So now I have Wild Orange and Balance on my hands. Yeah, great. Within 30 seconds, feel free to add another essential oil. You want to give it about 30 seconds because that will give it the chance to completely do its job, have its own shot at going through without combining with another essential oil. I'm not a chemist, but I know that when you blend things, mix things, it does change the chemistry a little bit of the essential oil. So give each essential oil that you intend to use maybe 30 seconds. And what I sometimes will do is put essential oils on my feet. I'll just rub it into one foot, rub it into the other foot. By the time I'm done rubbing it on the other foot, it's already been 30 seconds. So I go back to the one foot, and back and forth. So you can do that too. I have put on as many as 10 or 12 essential oils at the same time, and it's all been good. So that's the great thing. And I love this so much because if you go to the doctor or you have a pain med and you take, let's say you have a migraine, you take a pill for a migraine and you've reached the maximum dose, you can't. So you can't take another pain med because then you'd overdose or whatever. So you have to just wait it out. And that's torture, right? Well, with essential oils, you don't have to wait it out. Like frankincense is phenomenal for inflammation. So if I am having inflammation anywhere, I've got this sucker out. I'm putting frankincense on my lower back or my forehead, my temples right here. Oh my goodness. And lavender is also super good for tension and breaking that up. So here I go. I'm putting frankincense, I'm putting lavender here. Yes, filling my essential oil bottles. I'm such in a mad rush because I'm pretending my headache hurts so much. Okay, so I'm putting those oils on. At the same time, I've got my deep blue. Deep blue is also really good for inflammation. And here I go. I'm getting some of that, just a tiny bit of that on my hand. This has a bunch of essential oils in it. I'm rubbing it there. I'm rubbing it here, wherever you feel it. And then let me see. Peppermint. Peppermint's also great. So if I haven't felt relief by now, which, I mean, believe me, most people, if you even put frankincense, just a drop here, and lavender, a drop here on either side of your temples, most people notice a pretty quick relief. But let's say those haven't made a dent. Okay, let's pull out the peppermint. Okay, let's say I'm not getting enough relief back here on the back of my neck, so here I'm rubbing in peppermint. All right. And at the same time, I'm feeling like I need to calm down. So I'm grabbing some Serenity and putting that on my hands to just calm me down. Serenity has ylang-ylang in it, so it helps calm the heart rate. And breathing it in, okay? By then, there's no way that you won't be feeling better, But you don't have to wait forever for something to kick in. You can use multiple oils at the same time. Right now, I'm diffusing right here. I'm diffusing lemon. Lemon is the oil of focus. So obviously I'm diffusing this to help me focus, but it's also good for the brain. So, so I'm getting the benefits from the diffuser. I'll drink essential oils in my water. I'll put frankincense under my tongue. I'll be using oils on my skin, on my forehead, wherever. Yes, you can use essential oils all at the same time. And that is a beautiful aspect of it. I love essential oils for those reasons. And so I talked a little bit about that. I also want to talk about this amazing oil called Breathe. It's the respiratory blend. It's great for cold and flu season because what it does is you just put a drop in your hand or a few drops in your diffuser. Rub your hands together. So I was feeling a little bit congested, and it totally opens up the airways. I love it. It's got peppermint. It's got lemon. It's got Melaleuca tea tree oil. It has Ravensara. It's got great oils for the respiratory system. So it's a great one to diffuse if you're feeling a little congested and you want extra help with breathing support as you sleep. It's great if you feel like congestion is coming up or something like that. I have also, just last week, my sinuses were bothering me. So I took a little bit and just put it right on my sinuses. And I did that with, and it was starting to get really bad to the point it was like almost hurt, like a headache in my sinuses. So, so I added tea tree oil at the same time. So just to give it that added oomph. If essential oils are ever too hot for you, like, oh my gosh, I put them in a sensitive spot, or that type of thing, doTERRA sells a liquid coconut oil. It's called fractionated coconut oil. It's in a permanent liquid. The great thing about this is it does not stain like other kitchen oils. It's a perfect carrier oil. It does not smell like coconut, and it actually doesn't have any fragrance to it. They've stripped it they've stripped the fat out of it, so it's a permanent liquid. So here I go. I'm putting just a few drops here. Let's say, just for the record, if you put essential oils right under your eye and they have peppermint in it, it might start to bother. But I'm just going to put some right here, right on top, and I'm good. I mean, it didn't really start to burn, but some people with sensitive skin, it might. That's kind of a sensitive part of the body to put something right here. But there you go. If you start feeling like it's a little bit too hot of an oil, like, for example, On Guard. This is your immune support one, okay? This is one everyone raves about in the wintertime. It, helps fight off all those pathogens. In fact, a scientific study came out just this year, okay, and I'm still waiting for the the final, big long thing about it. But On Guard is actually, if you just made yourself a spray bottle with this stuff. So if you get a big old spray bottle, just put 1 drop of essential oil per ounce the bottle is, fill the rest up with water. You can spray it on surfaces. It's been scientifically shown that bacteria and other pathogens cannot thrive for 7 days when in contact with just a light mist of On Guard with water sprayed across the surface. Just so you know, it's a great cleaner. If you're thinking, I would like to get into more natural cleaners, On Guard is amazing. Let me tell you what's in it. It has wild orange, which is a natural cleanser. I mean, it's a citrus. Clove, which is the world's #1 antioxidant, so very highly antipathogenic. Cinnamon, which is also highly antipathogenic. Eucalyptus also, and rosemary. So all these things are amazing for the respiratory system, the immune system. Also, I love using it internally because, as we know, the first line of defense for the immune system is the gut, particularly like the lower gut with the colon and the small intestine. So you can actually take it internally, and I'll show you how. I have, doTERRA sells these empty vegetable caps, okay? Super handy to use. You could go to a pharmacy and get the gel ones for like pennies. Just call ahead and make sure they have them first. Most pharmacies do, though. doTERRA does sell this whole bottle for $4 though. So if you're getting essential oils, you might as well do it. So here I am. I'm going to fill up. I'm just going to put like 2 or 3 drops because that's the regular dose. 2 to 3 drops is a regular dose for an adult person. 2 to 3 drops. I just put 2. See, you're going to have a lot of extra room. That's fine. And you can take it internally just like a pill. Okay, so doTERRA essential oils you can take internally. On Guard also helps my gut. If I am backed up at all, there's an oil specifically for digestion. It's called DigestZen. And I might do that too if I'm feeling a little nauseous or bloated or whatever. But if it's just that the functionality is just not there, taking On Guard like that helps me a ton. My system gets going. I think because it has a couple similar essential oils to Slim and Sassy, both of them have a citrus oil in it as well as cinnamon. So I think they both, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so this one, so Slim and Sassy has lemon and grapefruit. On Guard has wild orange. Those are all citruses, those 3 I mentioned. And then they both have cinnamon. So maybe it's the cinnamon in there that gets my system working like that. So anyway, so that's also a common one. Let me highlight DigestZen. This is the one I was talking about. if you deal with heartburn, acid reflux, upset stomach, bloating, gas, nausea, sorry if I repeated any of those, you can take this in a capsule, just a couple drops like I did with the other one, or just take a drop on your finger and then just lift up your shirt or whatever, put it on your tummy or wherever you feel kind of that bloating. Sometimes it might be your lower abdomen, lower than your stomach. I have heard, though, that when you do this for heartburn or acid reflux, to put it in your belly button, because that seems to help quite a bit too. So so that's a little bit with Digestin. Let me highlight another couple that are very common. Tea tree oil. Many people are familiar with tea tree oil. This is Melaleuca is the scientific name. Melaleuca is a great one for internal use too. I mean, I don't like the taste of it, which is why I love these capsules, because then I can take the internal ones internally. And you'll see on the sides of the bottles, if they have a nutritional facts label, you can take them internally, okay? So don't just go to a store and take one off the shelf and assume you can take it internally. Make sure you can. And so tea tree oil is great for the skin. First aid for the skin. We're talking lumps, we're talking rashes, we're talking, you know, stuff on the skin that, you know, is anything that kind of is infected or, you know, kind of an illness on the skin, if you would. Anything like that, Melaleuca is phenomenal for. Acne, this was the first thing I reused for acne, and it was amazing. So I still use it for acne if I start eating unhealthy and then do a cleanse, and then, you know, of course my skin breaks out. But how you use it for acne, let me just show you, because somebody's going to want to know. Just take a drop on your hand. I just dripped one single drop on my hand. There, let me see. Can't really see. There you go. And then wherever it is, okay, wherever we have the acne spots, what it does is it kind of helps dry out that area too. So if it's greasy, that's nice too. Don't worry about it, because essential oils are not greasy oils. They're not going to make something greasy, okay? It's just awesome. Essential oils are actually going to kind of help more dry out the area, not like so that it's so dry in our dry weather right now that we should be scared, but so that if there's excess oils from our skin, it can kind of help, you know, help that. So I've also used it for, you know, if somebody, you know, pokes their finger or something and it was kind of an unsanitary situation, I'll put Melaleuca on it. Melaleuca is also great for the skin, the hair. I know somebody whose scalp was saved from some sort of infection by adding just a few drops of Melaleuca to the shampoo. So Melaleuca is phenomenal. If you're thinking anything relating to skin or hair or an infection on the surface of the skin anywhere, Melaleuca is great. It also, tea tree is naturally antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral. So really good option there for the immune support too. And while we're talking about Melaleuca, okay, if you want something like tea tree, as far as antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-yeast, anti-candida, and anti-parasitic, that type of thing, if you want to step into the big leagues of that, let oregano into your life. Oregano is a very hot oil, so let me just preface that. When you open the bottle of oregano, if you touch it on your skin, please use a carrier oil to dilute. Otherwise, it will get between the cracks of your hands, and then when you go wash your hands, it will start burning, okay? Oregano's hot. So how do I use this for those benefits? Okay, let me tell you. Same way I did the On Guard, in a capsule here, okay? I was going to tell you my secret weapon. Oregano is powerful, okay? So you just need a couple drops. And if you want to do a cleanse, just kind of purge your gastrointestinal system, oregano is awesome for that. If you can't quite get the oil into your capsule without spilling over the side. Maybe get an eyedropper for this one because you don't want to miss, and get it on the side. You'll hate me later. But let me just, where's my frankincense? It's a dynamic couple when you can merge frankincense and oregano together. And I either went blind or, oh, there it is. Somehow it ended up on the floor, my frankincense. Okay, so I'm going to do these two together. Any sort of illness, if you want to combat, the combination between frankincense and oregano is powerful. Frankincense, first of all, has its own amazing properties, and then when combined with oregano, it also maximizes the properties of that. So if you're coming down with something, if you have something raging in your system, this is an amazing flu bomb. Like, amazing. So because I'm a little congested, hey, I can use it. So there I go. And yes, I'm using multiple essential oils internally this time. Frankincense, Slim and Sassy, On Guard, oregano, you name it. Okay, so all good things. Also, with oregano, when I first joined doTERRA, one of the things that happened was it seemed like my health broke, just kind of went out of control. Chaos. And I had prayed at that point that God would let me have really good experiences. So what did he do? He says, okay, guess what? Your health is going crazy now. Here, you have the essential oils. You prayed that that you would have good experiences with essential oils. Here you go. Thank you, Diana, for joining us. So anyway, so after I helped my daughter with her allergy to milk, the intolerance there, I broke out with a huge bladder infection. Not fun. Like the worst bladder infection I'd ever had. In fact, I'd only had one once before, and I'd gone to take an antibiotic for that. And the antibiotic gave me a stomach ulcer. Side effects. Yay! Don't we love side effects? So then I went back to the doctor to get medication for the ulcer, and they diagnosed me with an ulcer and gave me a medication for that. And so I took that, and then the ulcer kind of patched itself up, but something happened inside me that caused me so much pain, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And finally, after, going back to my mom and going to her obstetrician, found out that I had a cyst in my ovaries. And there was no reason that I should have got that, except that it could have been a side effect. So there I go, one side effect after another causing me more health issues, and I just didn't want to be on medication anymore. So when I joined doTERRA and all of a sudden bladder infection came back up, I was thinking there is no way I'm going back to the doctor if I don't absolutely have to. So I said, okay, I've got tools here. I didn't have every single tool. I didn't have every single oil that it said, as far as bladder infection goes in this book, but I had a few. I had in my arsenal oregano, powerful stuff when it comes to infection. I have Melaleuca, tea tree oil, also great right up there. On Guard, also phenomenal, for, as I said, on a counter surface, On Guard can keep pathogens from duplicating for 1 week. So here we go, the On Guard with it. I also did frankincense, okay? Sometimes, not the entire time, but sometimes I did. So between these two, I had these because they come in just about any basic kit that you can buy. So I had these 4 oils, and that's what I did. I got myself a capsule. I opened it up. I put 2 drops of each, and I did that, 3 to 5 times a day. I was so miserable when I started doing it, and so miserable as I started taking it, and it really dejunked my system. I mean, it probably fleshed out way more than the bladder infection. It probably fleshed out pathogens that had been stored up in my colon and my gut and everything for years, because I didn't even know how to eat healthy at that time. I didn't know what a detox was. I had never cleansed. So here I go, my very first cleanse. I just want to get this infection out of me. I was so miserable from this infection. I remember how miserable I was. So miserable, in fact, that I hated the smell of On Guard for a while afterward because it reminded me of the infection. Such a miserable infection. But after 10 days, the infection was gone. I had so much energy, which is so weird because if you think about it, after an antibiotic, how do you usually feel? Kind of not feeling too well. Just you need to get by. You need to get your immune system back up before you start feeling any sort of decent. But I felt great. It was like night and then day. My body was done purging and like the clouds parted. I had so much energy. And I was so empowered to share this with people. Oh my goodness, guess what? I was able to do this without a medication and without all those side effects. And that was one of the things that I couldn't keep my mouth closed about oils after that. I was just thinking, I saved myself so much time, so much stress, so much money by just using my oils. Okay, and I probably used the equivalent of probably $20 worth of oils in all those capsules and everything. Not bad. Okay, that was a really cool experience. Hi, Linda, welcome. So that was kind of my cool experience there with essential oils and using them for an infection. Then I started using essential oils for emotional support. And we already talked a little bit about frankincense, but lavender, let me talk about this. This helps with feelings of despair. And emotionally, people always think of lavender in terms of calming and that type of thing. Lavender is emotionally the oil of communication. So when we feel like we haven't been expressed, when we work through our job or go throughout our day, we have not talked to somebody who loves us, who validates us, we've been overlooked, we haven't had our needs met, lavender can come to our rescue. Lavender gives us the confidence that our voice can be heard, that we can be acknowledged. And I'm going to put it on my throat chakra because this is the area of speech and speaking our truth. So lavender can help us feel like what we have to say is important and that we deserve to be validated and that we can be listened to and we can be heard, even if it's in our prayers. Even if it's, I don't need to tell the whole world my issues, but I need to know that somebody's listening. And then we can confidently offer that prayer and give that up. Give that to God. Let him say, okay, I'll take this from you. Okay, so lavender is powerful when it comes to the oil of communication. It helps support our communication, our true, speaking our truth, and also feeling like we were heard or feeling like we deserve to be heard and expressed. So it's a great oil for that. I know a lot of times we start feeling those feelings of despair and hopelessness when we haven't been heard. We haven't felt like we've been validated. And we need that as human beings. We need this validation from each other. Let me also mention this oil of grounding. This is a blend called Balance. This also helps with calming down. It helps with grounding. And yes, I did put some of this on the back of my neck earlier, and it's fine because I just put a drop and I'm putting a second drop on. And so I'm going to put this on my lower back this time because I'm going to put it on my root chakra right here, my tailbone, to give that grounding. I am grounded. I am supported. So when we feel listened to with lavender and supported with balance, and then maybe even use some frankincense, which is the oil of truth, make us see what the clear messages are in our mind, what the true messages are. Because we have messages running through our head that are false. I'm stupid, I'm ugly, all those things, that are total lies because nobody's stupid or ugly. And sometimes those things run through our heads, and we know they're false, but we just can't quite give them up. Frankincense is the oil of truth, guys. So if you need help discerning what is true up here, put frankincense up here, okay? I've also put on my crown chakra, help me connect with, the divine. But that between those three, feeling expressed with the lavender, feeling grounded with the balance, giving ourselves permission to think only true thoughts, can be powerful for pulling us out of emotional funks. There are also an entire essential oils set of emotions blends like peace, passion, motivate, forgive, console, and cheer. Those are wonderful too, and those are amazing. They even have them in little rollers that are pre-diluted, so you could just carry them in your purse and put on whatever essential oils you need, like on your wrists or on your forehead, on your hands, and so you can get the benefits that way. I personally love those rollers. So if you could get them, I think it's $100 for all 6 of them in those convenient rollers. And you can, carry them around anywhere. You can also help a friend right on the spot without having to worry about diluting the essential oil. Right on the spot, you can do that. So before I wrap this up totally, let me know if you have any questions. Write a question in the comments. If there's something that you're curious about that I have not answered. And I do want to mention that this month and next month, doTERRA has a special promotion going on where if you purchase an enrollment kit, either this month or next month, and then the following month, you purchase $100 or 100 PV worth of essential oils, you can get $100 worth of essential oils for free. So it's like place an order that at one time the next month and then get $100 worth of oils free. If you're interested in that, please message me. I would love to give you more details on that. It's a really great promotion going on. Also, if you're local, I do classes. Feel free to check out this Lighted Path Healing and Wellness page. I did a video this morning on using essential oils for baths, how to take a bath with essential oils. So if you're interested in that too, feel free to look at it. There is a comment here. What do you recommend? Thank you, James or Tracy Harvey. What do you recommend to dispel negativity? Let me talk about frankincense, okay? Can't talk about frankincense enough. Frankincense is the oil of truth. It literally dispels negativity all on its own. It also is the oil that is symbolic of God or the divine, okay? So it dispels negativity there. If you are curious as more of like a sage, a smudging spray to kind of just cleanse, detoxify from if you're around negative people, doTERRA has a blend called Purify. And it is the essential oil equivalent of smudging or saging yourself. That is pretty inexpensive as well. It's got a white label. It's called Purify. It has pine, it has lemon, it has lime, it has melaleuca, it has cilantro, a couple other essential oils, but that is the sage equivalent. But in terms of dispelling negativity, I think in the emotions book, let me look it up really quick, just because we're talking so much about frankincense, I'll pull it up. This is the emotional benefits of frankincense. I'm going to read it. Frankincense reveals deceptions and false truths. It invites individuals to let go of lower vibrations, lies, deceptions, and negativity. This oil helps create new perspectives based on light and truth. Frankincense recalls to memory spiritual understanding, gifts, wisdom, and knowledge the soul brought into this world. It is a powerful cleanser of spiritual darkness. Frankincense assists in pulling the scales of darkness from the eyes, the barriers from the mind, and the walls from the heart. Through connecting the soul with its inner light, this oil reveals the truth. Frankincense supports in creating a healthy attachment with one's father. It assists in spiritual awakening and helps an individual feel the fatherly love of the divine. When one has felt abandoned or forgotten, Frankincense reminds them that they are loved and protected. While this oil is incredibly powerful, it is also gentle, like a loving father who nurtures, guides, and protects. Frankincense shields the body and soul from negativity and influence and assists the soul in its spiritual evolution. Enhancing practices of prayer and meditation, this oil opens spiritual channels that allow the individual to connect with God. Through the light and power of frankincense, the individual can draw closer to divinity, healthy masculinity, and the grandeur of the true self. So negative emotions it addresses are abandonment, spiritually disconnected, distant from Father, unprotected, or spiritual darkness. The positive properties it brings is enlightened, loved, protected, wisdom, discernment, spiritually open, and connection with Father. And thank you, Linda, for your comment. Where should you put it on you? That is a wonderful question. Wherever you feel negativity is coming from, you can put it there. For example, if you feel like somebody's eating away at you, feel free to put the essential oil wherever you feel it. You can even make a spray with it and spray your whole self down. Or my personal favorite, mix about 5 drops with a cup of Epsom salt and take a bath in it, or a foot bath. You know, you can, so you can do frankincense that way. Also, one of the places where we are often attacked by negativity the most are on our chakra points. So not usually our crown chakra, but it could be our crown chakra if we feel very disconnected from God. Our third eye chakra, I'm putting it on all these. Throat chakra here, the heart chakra. I'm going to stand up a little bit so you can see the other chakras in case you're not familiar with where the chakras are. The heart chakra is right over the heart. The solar plexus chakra, it's right here. So I'm just going to reach up right there, right where the rib cage comes to a point right out there under the sternum. That's the solar plexus chakra. The sacral chakra is right here under the belly button. And then the root chakra is deep down low, but I'm just going to reach in the back and put it right on my tailbone because that's more sanitary, I think. Anyway, so drawing wealth to oneself. I love that question. Let me tell you what. We've already talked about this one, but I didn't mention how it relates to wealth. It's the oil called Wild Orange. Wild orange is the oil of abundance, okay? And I told you a story related to my friend who had, chronic depression and all that. She was able to pull out from it. What wild orange does emotionally is it helps us see that everything in life is in abundance. All the good is in abundance. The money is there, like if you think about an orange, okay? Where does an orange come from? It comes from a tree, an orange tree, vibrant, orange fruit all over the tree. You just can pick it and there's still more. There's tons and tons of oranges, okay? Wild orange kind of delivers that message to the rest of the world that we can use wild orange essential oil. Just put it on our hands on a daily basis, or if you have a diffuser necklace, you can put it in a diffuser necklace and smell it. But I love wild orange. So you can even put it in your hands and breathe it in daily. Put it in your diffuser daily. Wealth, when it comes to wealth, let me find it in the emotions book here. So it's under W, I'm pretty sure, wild orange. Okay, so wild orange is the oil of abundance, sure enough. If you don't believe me, there it is. So it addresses a wide variety of emotional issues. It inspires abundance, fosters creativity, supports a positive mood, restores physical energy. There's an energy one again, and aids in transitions. It also reconnects individuals with their inner child, that trusting, spontaneous, happy, playful soul, and brings spontaneity, fun, joy, and play into one's life. At its core, wild orange teaches the true meaning of abundance. It encourages individuals to let go of scarcity mindsets with all their manifestations, including fear, nervousness, inflexibility, workaholism, lack of humor, and the belief that there's not enough. Wild orange reminds the soul of the limitless supply found in nature. Fruit trees like orange give freely to all in need. Wild orange teaches individuals to give without thought of compensation. In nature, there's always enough to go around. Wild orange encourages individuals to let go of their need to hoard, which is the epitome of scarcity. Think about that. That's kind of crazy, huh? Wild orange assists an individual's creative sense. It inspires limitless solutions for problems and issues. One never needs to fear. Wild orange invites the individual to completely let go as a child does and live from their authentic self. In our authenticity, we are abundance. Sharing, playing, relaxing, and enjoying the bounties of life, these are the gifts bestowed by the wild orange essential oil. So perfect, huh? Thank you. I'm glad you that resonated with you. So here we go. Applying wild orange. Let me show you a cool place to apply it. I showed you with the hands and in a diffuser. There's a spot on our bodies. This is actually my left shoulder. There's a spot on our body. It's right here, this deltoid muscle. So the end of my shoulder is right here. It's right here. This is a spot that helps kind of with the gratitude. Helps if you put it there. It helps with foster generosity and gratitude. So if you want to put it there, just as you're talking to yourself and you're like, I'm putting, applying abundance to my life, that's fine too. I love wild orange. You can do it in your water too. Let me add it to my already slim and sassy in here. Yes, you can take multiple oils internally all at the same time. Wild orange comes up on a lot of my scans that I scanned, a lot of biofeedback scans. Drink it in your water throughout the day. It helps with that getting those creative juices going. It also is an easy way to remember to use it. I know people who will, and use glass if you can, or stainless steel water bottle if you can, especially if you're going to be reusing it, because essential oils can break down plastic. They like to dissolve those toxic and unhealthy petrochemicals. So they find those in plastic water bottles and break them down. But if you can, get a stainless steel or a glass water bottle, or if you drink out of a glass cup or a ceramic cup, that's fine too. And then you just put a few drops in the morning time. The essential oils will settle on top. So by the time you get to the end, there will be a little bit on top still. You can just keep refilling it throughout the entire day with, filling that water back up. It will help make your water cleaner, taste better, and it will help foster those abundant juices, if that makes sense. I like doing that personally. My husband, every time he picks up my water, he always has to smell it first because he doesn't like essential oils in his water, but I do. So anyways, cool. I'm glad I was able to answer some of your questions. So comment really quick if there is something else that you are interested in. Once again, these essential oils I'm talking about, these are doTERRA quality. So these are not over the counter, off the shelf at natural grocers or Whole Foods. These are very, very high quality essential oils, very safe, third-party tested, all those things. Thank you so much, James or Tracy. I'm guessing it's probably Tracy. Tracy, thank you so much for your compliments. I'm glad I was able to help. And let me know if you're interested in that promotion. I talked about earlier getting a kit of essential oils, like 100 PV or more, $100 or more, and then the consecutive month. So whether you place the order in January or February, it will either be February or March. Placing that second order, and then $100 worth of essential oils is at your disposal whenever you want. So if you're thinking, I want to get these oils and the next month I want to get more, but I can't quite get myself to order this other oil I'm thinking about because it's so expensive, that's when you can apply those. So that's going on right now. Also, please feel free to like my Facebook page if you haven't already, or comment if there's a video you would like me to do. I have immersed myself these past several years since joining doTERRA in a lot of information, and I'm happy to share that information with you, talk a little bit more about emotions or physical things or mental, emotion, all those things. So if you have another topic in mind, let me know. I'm glad this worked out. I was kind of nervous with this first Facebook Live video I've ever done as far as an essential oils class. I think it turned out pretty well. I think we had maybe 6 people total at one point. So thanks so much for being on here with me, and have a great evening. Thank you, Linda, for joining us, and Tracy, and Diana, and everyone else who was here with us. Thanks so much, and I will see you later. Take care. Have a great week.